Welcome back to another episode of the Blues Harp Biker. Welcome back to another episode of the Blues Harp Biker. All right, got some news for you here. I recently started a new Instagram page that's called the Blues Harp Biker, so you can check me out on Instagram. I have another Instagram, it's John Cliftone. That one was a little more my personal page about music and, you know, odds and ends and traveling and stuff. And I'll do a little of that on the Blues Harp Biker page, but heck, like both of them, you know, it's both good stuff. Also, don't forget to subscribe, like the videos, hit that little bell icon that'll notify you whenever I upload a new video, and don't forget to comment all the time down below. Let me hear what you think and say hello. It'd be great to hear from you guys. All right, today I'm taking a little country ride out to visit a friend of mine, and it's a little different turn on the channel again. We're talking about British motorcycles here now, and Jim Schmidt, who is a saxophone player around Fresno area, is also a Norton guru. We're going to go out and see his bike and hear what he does and what he does to modify the motorcycles. Okay, here we are. All right, we got the Softail off-roading. Kind of off-roading. We got dirt roading. We've got an adventure bike going. All right, welcome back to the channel here. Today's episode, we got Jim Schmidt. Say hi, Jim.
How you doing?
Yeah, and Jim is a saxophone player around town, and he's also builds saxophones, and he's a Norton guru, Norton motorcycle guru. He builds parts for these Norton motorcycles, and he's built this Norton motorcycle pretty much himself, and we're going to take a look at it here. Jim, why don't you tell us a little bit about the bike?
All right, this is an old Norton wide line frame. Wide line because it's a little wider in here. This is a 1959 frame. Found this in the junkyard, just the bare frame, and I already had a whole bunch of Norton parts. Welded up a aluminum gas tank here.
You made that yourself?
Yeah, just gas welded aluminum. And I used to do a lot of race work with aluminum, so I learned how to do that. Aluminum fenders. Just trying to save weight wherever I can. Got a Joe Hunt Magneto, which starts up just like that, and 4-piston Ducati Brembo front brake, so it stops on a dime. New LED headlight, that's kind of funky Road Warrior style. No speedometer, but I got a tack. Yeah. Because last time I got a ticket, the cops were asking me how fast I was going. I had no idea. Everything's kind of stripped down. It's got a belt drive. This is actually the very first belt drive you could ever buy, called a QPD. It's probably the oldest belt drive on the road, and it's been converted to a round tooth belt. And I actually used to race with that belt drive, and it's still working on this bike. Got aluminum cylinders, and it's got some lightweight pistons in there, which really makes things so much better because it reduces the vibration by about 1/3. So instead of things shaking apart and falling off the bike, you're cruising down the road in comfort, and it stays together. A little bit of the homemade pipes here, a little bit of extended muffler, some little hot PWK carbs, which work better than the original Amels. funky homemade chain guard. But you know, the oil tank and the wheels are stock Norton parts, transmission.
Yeah.
It's just
And it's an Atlas motor?
It's an Atlas motor, but it's got a lot of Commando parts in it.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of difference between the Atlas and the Commando.
Yeah.
I like the Atlas cases because you can run the magneto back here, and I like the magneto. I don't have to screw with a battery or battery acid, anything like that. It's only got one wire going up to the front lights and one wire to the brake lights. That's it. It's just a few wires and a battery eliminator, so it charges goes straight to the lights really, and the energy from the magneto is just, you know, self-generated.
So what have you done to the inside of this motor?
Well, it's been ported.
Yeah.
You know, that's the main thing. That's where you get your power. When I first came on to one of these, the first one I had, it was running, it seemed like a dog, because I had a BSA flat tracker before that was all hopped up, and it was a screamer. It would beat a 4-cylinder Honda. Yeah. And I got on this old Norton. It had a lot of low end, but nothing happened. You know? Yeah. So I ported it, and whoa! All of a sudden, I was getting 2nd-gear wheelies, and it was so fast that I took this thing on the racetrack, started racing, and a bike similar to this, I got me a 2nd place at Laguna Seca in 1984. Wow! In a 750 Battle of the Twins. Wow! My buddy on a Commando just in front of me. Wow! And then I raced these at Willow Springs for years, you know, and that's where I developed all my technology, and started coming out with the lightweight pistons and camshafts. I use lightweight BSA cam followers so the things can rev higher. They've got new valve springs, beehive valve springs, where it's only one valve spring, and it cuts all the weight way down, so the reciprocating weight doesn't beat itself to death. You know, the stuff that has to reverse direction, the valves and the pistons, all that stuff is much more efficient. So it just runs smoother and cleaner, and more dependable, more reliable, and you get a little more power. Yeah, you know? It's got Corella rods in it, which are a little bit longer than stock because the pistons are a little shorter, and that's what makes them so much lighter. And even the long pistons help smooth out the vibrations.
You do all that work yourself?
Oh yeah. Yeah. I don't make the pistons.
Oh, you don't make them? Okay.
No, I do all my design work on AutoCAD, and I send it out for other people to make. Okay. I spent a long time trying to get good connecting rods. Yeah. Man, everybody was screwing them up. So I go to Carrillo, bingo, first shot. Yeah. Beautiful, beautiful work. Yeah. And
you design them though.
Yeah, I design them. Yeah. And they came back. I told them what I wanted. They came back and they met my requirements. They came up with there's a new kind of connecting rod, and it doesn't have a bushing in the top end. Instead of that bronze bushing, you have you put a diamond-like coating on your wrist pin. It turns your wrist pin black. And but that diamond-like coating does not need a bushing, so you eliminate the bushing. So there's 70 grams I just eliminated off the reciprocating weight right there. Yeah. And it's not any weaker, it's actually stronger. That technology comes from NASCAR racing, because at 9,000 RPMs they were beating out their bronze bushings and making them out around. And when they went to the DLC coated wrist pins and the bushless rods, that problem went away.
Yeah. Okay, the burning question: how fast does it go, you think? You don't have a speedometer, so
no speedometer. I had a tachometer here that I put on after the cops pulled me over and asked me how fast I was going. So now it just works out that my speed is actually twice a tachometer reading. Yeah. But I've got a video of me doing maybe 120 on it. Yeah. You know. Yeah. And I think if I laid flat on the thing and took my time, I'd probably get up to 130. Yeah. Race bikes would maybe do 140. Yeah. You know, with the all-out racing engine in it. It's easy to exaggerate. You know?
These were the fastest bike you could get at one time.
Yeah, they were. In 1971, the Commando, and even before that, the Atlas was a hard bike to beat. Yeah. Back in the early 60s, it was either a Sportster or an Atlas.
Yeah, yeah. So, what does it sound like? Can you fire it up?
Yeah. Well, I got to turn on the gas. Wait for the gas to dribble in. As long as there's something in the bowl. It'll be about 4 kicks.
Oh, yeah.
goes.
Man, that thing sounds great.
Yeah, it's a good runner.
Yeah.
You know, it really is. It's just
And
what
now-
it's supposed to do.
The motor is a 60.
The motor, it's mixed up parts. You
Oh,
know?
okay.
This is a mid-60s cases, but the cylinders are actually, you know, late 80s.
Yeah.
It's an Atlas head.
Yeah.
Back then they were pretty crude. This side is kind of carved off a little bit more than the other side. You can see see how the fins stick out there below.
Yeah.
But this is a head I ported. This has porting according to like Axel, CR Axel.
Yeah.
He was the Norton guru for all the race bikes.
Yeah.
And he built a guy named Ron Woods. He was dominated dirt track racing.
Did he do that before he joined the Rolling Stones?
Not that Ron Woods. Another dude. And so Norton did real good for a long time.
Yeah.
And they have a lot of potential.
Yeah.
You know, Harleys could get a little more power, but they could beat all the other British twins.
Yeah.
And the porting is where the power was, and that's where I got all the power out of this thing. That's when I started racing.
Yeah. Well, that's cool. And the frame is a 59.
Yeah, it's a 59 frame. You know, this is an Atlas frame. They made them up to probably around 67 or 68. You know, it's called a featherbed.
Featherbed frame. Yeah.
Featherbed frame.
Yeah.
And you know, they sold a lot of single cylinder 500s. And way back in the early 60s and 50s, there were 500 single Manx that just dominated road racing for 10 years.
Yeah.
And they're still very popular in the classic racing.
Yeah. Okay, so you sell parts.
Yeah. I can show you if you
Sure,
want.
sure. So what do you do when you take it like out on the road?
Kickstand here.
Oh, okay.
This plugs in.
Ah, okay. Oops.
Plugs into the foot peg like this.
Ah,
and goes
okay.
like that.
All right.
That gets me by in a pinch.
Yeah.
And truth is, I like to lean it against things.
Yeah.
That way no one's going to knock it over.
Yeah, right, right.
All right, these are Carrillo rods. This is the gold standard of the industry here. Nothing beats Carrillo. They got a reputation. It sells itself. So this rod here is the new trick rod. It has no bronze bushing on the small end. And that's what saves you so much weight.
Uh-huh.
These rods never break. They just overbuild them. They're just such high quality. The bolts are good for life. You don't have to change the bolts as long as you don't over tighten them.
Yeah.
They're very expensive, but they're just super high quality. Now, let me show you a wrist pin and a piston for one of these things. So this is what you call a DLC pin. DLC stands for diamond-like coating. It's a super hard coating, and it doesn't wear. You run it for years, pull it out, it looks just like that.
Yeah.
The inside, where the metal is, it gets a little bit of a brown stain on it.
Yeah.
No wear whatsoever.
Okay.
It's no metal to metal wear. So that solves a lot of problems and gets rid of that bronze bushing weight, which saves me about 70 grams. And then the rod's a little bit longer, so the piston can be a little bit shorter. I sell all kinds of pistons. I sell Y-scope pistons and JE pistons. This is a JE piston. And it's a little bit shorter than the stock piston. Let me get you a stock piston so I can compare the two.
Boy, that piston doesn't weigh anything.
All right, now this is a stock length piston. You can see this one had a little problem. It seized. The guy put it in too tight. But it's that much shorter.
Yeah.
And you can see the wrist pin is down lower. And so the problem is you got all that weight down in here.
Yeah.
When you move your wrist pin up, to get rid of all that weight down there.
Oh yeah, yeah. This is a lot more weight.
This weighs like 250 grams.
Yeah.
This weighs 185 grams.
Yeah.
So that's a hell of a difference, you know. So all of a sudden you've pulled, you add up your bushing weight, your pissing savings, you're saving, you know, more than 100 grams.
Yeah.
You know, reciprocating weight off your vibration.
Yeah.
So the thing goes smooth.
Yeah. And so, where can people get this stuff at?
They get it from JS Motorsport.
JS Motorsport.
That's not motorsports, it's
Right.
motorsport.
Motor with no S.
Yeah, you just go to my website and I've got all kinds of videos and information and a lot of descriptions.
And your
details
YouTube channel is?
It's not really a channel. Just go to my, just look for Jim Schmidt or JS Motorsport, and I've got all kinds of videos on how to install these parts. I've got camshafts outlast the stock camshafts because I use radius tappets, so they're smoother. And I've got beehive valve springs. I'll show you what those look like. All right, here's a valve spring. It's just a single. There's no dual valve spring. You can see it tapers down on the top.
Yeah.
And so that means the retainer can be smaller and lighter. It takes a little titanium retainer. All of a sudden your valve springs are weighing half as much, so you don't have to push as much stuff up and down there either.
Yeah.
And for my camshafts, these are some used parts here. I'm just grabbing because they're nearby. Okay, we solved the problem with the engine having a lot of vibration. These are the stock lifters. Look at them, they're huge.
Yeah.
They might as well be out of a car.
Yeah.
Okay. This is a stock BSA lifter. This is what I like to use instead. So we replace this big lunk of iron with this lightweight job here. These are half the weight of this thing. Plus this radius curve on here. Instead of being a flat surface with a pointy cam, you've got a round surface with a cam that has a broader curve on the nose, and it just doesn't wear so much. You know, these are old and worn, and they still look good. You know, these look okay, but these Norton lifters usually get beat up pretty bad.
Yeah.
So all this stuff, you know, is to make your bike more reliable, smoother, and faster.
Yeah. Yeah.
And, so it worked so well that I decided to go into business. You know?
Yeah. There you go. There you go.
It took off. It was working fine.
Yeah, well, good, good. Well, man, thanks a lot. Appreciate it, and we'll catch you again down the road somewhere. Thanks for showing us the bike. Thanks for all this, and don't forget jsmotorsport.com.
Yeah.
And Jim Schmidt on YouTube. And I've seen some of the videos, and there's one of you going 100 and something miles an hour on the...
Yeah, I'm showing off the lightweight pistons. I'm right down here in this road in front. I'm at third gear, about 115.
Yeah, yeah.
And fourth gear is coming up, but road's running out. You know?
Well, great. Well, thanks a lot for showing us all this, and we'll see you around, and we'll see everybody soon. Yeah, thanks, Jim. Thanks a lot. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
You bet. All right, well, we're going to wrap things up today. Thanks a lot for riding along. Don't forget, if you need any Norton parts, check out jsmotorsport.com. Not motorsports.com, motorsport.com. Also, remember about my new Instagram account, Blues Harp Biker. That's more dedicated to motorcycles. I also have my other account, John Cliftone. That's my harmonica and music and personal site. You could check either one of them out. Heck, follow both of them. The Blues Harp Biker is going to be a little more dedicated to motorcycles and the YouTube channel, so check them out. And while you're at it, head on over to YouTube and subscribe to the Blues Harp Biker channel. Well, anyways, that's it for today. Thanks a lot, people. Thanks a lot for watching. Thanks a lot for subscribing, and you know, take care of each other. Rock and roll. Have a good time. Thank you very much. I appreciate you tuning in.